Welcome to the Unconfirmed Diegesis, a channel where claims, encounters, and anomalies are examined without assumption and presented without conclusion. We lay out the evidence. You decide what's true. The 1940 Udo Wartena incident. In early May of 1940, Udo Wartena, a 37-year-old man of Dutch origin, was working alone as a part-time gold miner in the rugged terrain near Boulder Mountain in the vicinity of what is now Canyon Ferry Lake, Montana. At the time, Wartena was associated with the Northwest Mining Company, although records of his exact employment status remain unclear. Several weeks earlier, Wartena had discovered what he believed were promising signs of gold-bearing ore near a small stream at the base of Boulder Mountain. After his discovery, he returned intermittently, working to improve his claim by redirecting water flow using makeshift stone barriers, a common practice among independent prospectors. On the morning in question, shortly after 10 a.m., he was moving boulders near the stream when he noticed a low, persistent humming sound coming toward him. Initially, his assumption was that an aircraft was passing overhead, as aviation activity was not uncommon even in remote regions. However, the sound did not fade with time or change direction. Instead, it remained constant. He began to become suspicious when he was unable to locate its source visually, so he decided to climb to a slightly elevated area nearby, still believing perhaps that a vehicle or other person was approaching through the rough terrain. From his new vantage point, he observed a large metallic object hovering above a pool of water in the area where he had constructed his temporary dam. The object was disc-shaped, metallic in appearance, and suspended in the air without visible means of support or propulsion. As he studied the craft, a ladder-like structure extended downward from the underside of the object. Moments later, a single figure descended and began walking toward him. He did not know whether he should hide, run away, or defend his gold claim. The individual appeared human, wearing light gray clothing resembling overalls, along with soft footwear similar to slippers or moccasins. On his head was a circular cap matching the color of his clothing. Most striking was his pure white hair, which appeared unusually bright, and his nearly translucent skin. When the two men met, the strange man extended his hand to greet Wartena. He then spoke calmly, explaining that they had not realized anyone was present in the area. He added that it was not their custom to interrupt or allow themselves to be seen. The visitor then asked if it would be permissible for them to take water from the stream. Wartena agreed. At this point, a hose-like apparatus emerged from the hovering object and was lowered into the water source. While this occurred, Wartena observed the man more closely. He later stated that the individual spoke English clearly, though it was slow and deliberate, as if he was carefully selecting words or maybe translating internally. The man then gestured toward the hovering craft and asked Wartena if he would like to go on board with him. Wartena agreed and accompanied him. As he approached the craft, the humming sound, while not loud, produced a physical sensation, describing it as passing through his body rather than merely being heard. Once inside, he saw a room approximately 12 by 16 feet, softly lit with indirect lighting near the ceiling. Beautifully upholstered seats lined the interior walls. A seamless sliding door was visible at the far end of the room. Another man stood inside at a control panel. He appeared to be similar in appearance to the first man, including the same white hair and clothing. Wartena asked how old they were. One stated he was approximately 600 years old, while the other claimed to be over 900 years old, measured by Earth time. The men explained that they preferred to collect water from the stream due to its purity and lack of algae. They also explained to him about their energy systems involving hydrogen conversion and gravitational manipulation. though Wartena admitted he did not fully understand the technical explanations. He recalled being told that such energy systems allowed their craft to overcome gravitational forces and travel by interacting with gravitational or light-based phenomena. They also stated that their technology allowed them to obtain energy from the sun and other stars, and that humanity would one day need to understand and develop similar sources. At one point, they indicated that they were neither explicitly human nor alien, but that they resembled humans closely. They further claimed that they occasionally lived among human populations, gathering information and covertly offering assistance when deemed necessary. Wartena reported that the men scanned his body using a device he likened to an X-ray machine. They explained it was to check for impurities. After they scanned him, they offered him the opportunity to go with them. Wartena declined, stating that he felt it would inconvenience others, though later he admitted he questioned his reasoning for not going. As he exited down the ladder, the men warned him not to speak of the encounter, telling him he would not be believed, but that eventually a time would come when people would be able to speak openly about their encounters without fear of ridicule. After the craft departed, Wartena reported experiencing temporary weakness and immobility, particularly in his limbs. Once he recovered, he searched the area but found no physical evidence of the craft's presence, aside from a small section of grass that appeared pressed down. Wartena did not publicly discuss the incident for decades. There are no records to verify the event. No additional witnesses came forward. No physical evidence has been documented. No evidence of his encounter remains. Only the words stated by an aging old man at the end of his life. This account officially stands unconfirmed. Whether the Wartena experience represents misinterpretation, fabrication, psychological phenomena, or an encounter beyond conventional explanation remains unresolved. And unresolved stories like this are neither accepted nor dismissed, only presented to you for your entertainment. We leave this story for you to decide whether it is truth or fiction. In the unconfirmed Diegesis, these such accounts are preserved not as truth nor as fiction, but as unanswered records left suspended between belief and doubt. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe so you won't miss the next time we dive into the unconfirmed Diegesis.